So back here at the corner are the two we just bought. And I've loaded up most of the parts from the 62. Tons of parts. And this is the 55. And pretty much a complete car. Everything for it. These running engine, parts engine, engine 10s, all of this is going. Flywheel. This engine also going with us. Check that out. Original muffler. We did have all the parts laying out and they were all taking up this whole front area. Semaphore beetle. Oval. Dry car. It's a very dry car. Check out this headliner though. Giraffe. Got a set of deep dish smoothies in the deal. Tow bar. Got an engine stand. Original rear seat for 55. Front beam that isn't narrowed and slammed. It's funny because when you look at the two cars together, they look totally different in height. 62 is slammed way low. Makes the 55 look like a Baja bug or something. Pretty funny looking. The one he's finishing up. Someone painted it and then drove around with the fenders in the bed of a truck and beat it up. So, I think I am towing home the 55 with the bus. We're putting the 62 on a trailer. It's too low to tow the tow bar. So, I'll hook you back up when we get to that point. but we seem to be missing one. Only 3 fenders in there. Didn't have a chance to get the other one off. Going to paint those to patina them so that they are some sort of red color. Stay tuned for that. So we're working on, or rather I am working on, no mouse in my pocket, Faux-tina-ing, if that's a word, some Beetle fenders from a 62 Beetle. And the rest of the car is really patina that was left in a very dry climate. I think it was Arizona it came from originally. Maybe Colorado. And the fenders are from a different car, or are newer non-German fenders. And basically we're trying to make the fenders match the patina on the car. And the paint's really dull. We're going to use marble mystery oil on the car. But I just wanted to kind of show a video of before I do it. And these runs, I don't know if that camera's picking that up or not, but the runs that are right there, and actually there it looks like there's a Bondo site there too. These runs are actually in the first layer of paint, and then someone painted a pretty heavy-duty coat of white enamel over it with a clear coat, it looks like, over top of that. So these imperfections, unfortunately, are in the first layer of paint. So I probably will take a wire wheel, I know, don't cringe, down on that and kind of see what we've got down there, because the more crud we have for this car, this is one of those cases, the better. So right now we just have red on top of a kind of a purpley red, and I think there's another red, like an orangey red, and then the white on this fender. So I'll get started on that. I'm even taking it down. There's a big dent right there too. Taking it down to the metal in several places and spraying on a combination of hydrogen peroxide, vinegar, and salt, and getting it to rust, and then wiping over it with a marble mystery oil or a boiled linseed oil to get protection on it so it doesn't continue to rust. So let me get going on that, and we'll see how far we can get. I've learned from the previous one of these I did, and once it starts to kind of show that orange, camera's picking that up or not, we want to kind of then steer clear of that area and move back a little bit, because underneath that orange is white, and once the white starts to show through, it just really doesn't look good. So I'm using wet sand, wet dry, 800. And kind of once it starts to go, and I am trying to sand in a circular motion, because if you sand back and forth, it just doesn't look right. A little bit more on this side here. Sorry, I got the camera in a really bad spot because it's shaking. Let's try and put you up here. If you should happen to fall down, I will pick you back up. So I've already done the other front fender, and it's pretty good. I'm not totally happy with it, so there's a few more areas I'm gonna go hit again. I'm gonna move you just a hair here so I don't bump you. But I think it's on the right track. And obviously we want to hit the areas where the sun would have hit, because that's the areas that are going to kind of oxidize and paint's going to fade. We don't want to get down, in the areas where the fender welting is, because that's not a logical place for the sun to hit. So let me kind of continue on with this for a little while, and we'll turn you back on and see what it looks like after I've taken off some of this outer layer of paint. So in the end, we end up getting something that looks like this. I may need to go just a little bit further, but I don't want to go back, so I'm gonna stop there for now. And this is a little rust spot that I've made. So don't ever touch this without gloves. That we will let sit for a bit, and that will rust that down, and then I'll actually probably put it out in the rain. It's raining right now. I'll let it go just a little bit further, but I may want to go just a little bit more right in this area. Don't have the car here, so I can't set those on and see exactly how they sit on the car. But for right now, we're going to call that one good, and we're going to go pull the two rear fenders and get started on them. So we've got those all done, or at least to the point where I'm going to say they're done for now. Yeah, I'm just taking a little bit of marble mystery oil. It's actually a gas additive. And I've sanded the entire fender, and then brought out these areas to make it look like patina. But if we add a little bit of this marble in there, and I've created a little rust stain there, a little injury spot. So we're just going to kind of go around it, and we're going to actually let this damp, rainy weather kind of finish rusting that the rest of the way. There's a run right there I probably need to deal with. But you can see it really brings out that patina that we've put on there. And then after this rusts and kind of stains the area around it, we'll oil it as well. And put the horn rings back in. Did the taillights. Unfortunately, the taillights had a white primer, much like the front fender. Probably can't see any of that, but get the back fenders done. So, finish putting a little bit of that marble mystery oil on there, and we'll probably put the headlights in tonight and drill the holes for the turn signals. So I'll just continue on with that until the battery runs out, I guess. I don't know how long you're going to last up here. If any time at all. I don't know, you may fall flat on your face. Camera holder isn't holding very well. So the cool thing is this stuff's already kind of a red color. But it does really bring out that area where I have scraped away. It makes for a good wax too. If it's a car that doesn't have to be buffed to a shine, but you just want a little bit of a sheen on it. And after we put it on, we'll go back with a dry rag and wipe off any excess that might be there. So the owner of the car is my husband. He went to pick up a headlight and the turn signals from where we have the car stored with my parents, because I've got to cut in those turn signal holes tonight. So probably tonight that's going to be it for the video. Obviously it's dark 0 to dark 30. And you're not going to be able to see much anyway. So I'll finish these out and we'll get them on the car probably tomorrow. So if I need to add or subtract or do a little bit more, like right here I'm noticing that I might actually want to take that all the way down a little bit. But we'll see. We'll put them on the car and see what we get. and there's always the option to take more off. I just don't want to take too much off because then I gotta repaint them again, and I really don't feel like doing that. So we'll stop you there and turn you back on once these are on the car. And we'll show you one more of the mystery. Marble mystery oil, prepare to be marveled. There we go. Liking it. It's a whole lot better than white or gray, don't you think? I think it was. Yeah, let's finish it out. That way I had these out, I would go ahead and show those also. Bought a couple VW Beetles, a 55 and a 62. And in that same deal, I bought these deep dish smoothies. The 62 is slammed. So I've painted those up. They were red. The car's kind of a patina red, so, and the front rims are this kind of off-white color. So we wanted to paint those up. So I've got those painted. This one actually has a tire on it. Try and match that tire. And, you know, it really doesn't have to be a perfect paint, because once we get a hubcap on them, they're going to look completely different. But, and I got to go back in on this one in the inner part there, on the inner part of the smoothie portion. I got to kind of hit with a spray can down in there. I missed a little bit back there. So, but those look pretty good. Pretty happy with how those turned out. So, get those on the 62. Currently has chrome on it, and I like the deep dish look a lot better. So, more on that later. Just thought I'd do a little walk around of the project we've been working on. Those fenders that I did the Faux-tina paint job on. Obviously there's a little more body work and whatnot to be done. In Indiana you can run an old plate as long as it's the year of your title. So my Faux-tina is not a perfect match, but it's close. It's really close. And we need a good rub down with a dry towel, a dry cloth. And we need to clear the areas that I left exposed metal so that they can actually rust. We left I didn't get the hood spots. That one's starting to go pretty good. I wish there was a way to really truly mimic what nature will actually do, because that is a thing of beauty. Couple negative things about the car. It's a very solid car, but somebody has cut the dash. So I have a bus with a cut dash with a hole cut in it, and we now have a Beetle with a cut dash. Somebody put a radio in it. But the floor pans are original. The passenger side has some issues underneath the seat, which is an odd place to have it. Usually it's at the battery, but this one actually has a hole right in front of the battery for some reason. And you can see part of it right there peeking through. Right there.
We've just patched it temporarily to get us through the weekend. The original floor mat in the back. Don't have the front one. And no headliner. And the seats are recovers. They were more of an orangey red originally, like a Chinese red, like what they call that, and that's this kind of orangey pinky color. But all in all, solid runner. No Bondo in the sides or anything. And ruby red was the original color. And I think that is a later steering wheel, because the 62 should have had a notch that came down on either side, like here and here, and the horn ring came down. So this is a later steering wheel, and I believe the 62s all had white steering wheels. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. No room for error. So far seems to be a good, strong motor. Haven't driven it more than about 20 miles, but we eat, breathe, sleep, talk, live, love, and drive Volkswagen. Thought that was an appropriate bumper out of the selection of bumpers we had. It's a nice little car. It is slammed. For those who are wondering why it looks weird, that is why. So that rear tire kicks out, the camber kicks out a little bit, and the front beam is narrowed so the tires are brought in towards the center. And the narrow on that I think is close to 3 inches, but it's not as narrow as some of them I've seen. So, cute little car. I don't know, what should we name her? Paint color's ruby red. I'm thinking ruby might be appropriate. Hopefully we've got most of the big kinks worked out. Steering's still a little wonky. I tightened the worm gear down on that, so we'll see if that helped. Just don't want to go too tight on it. Parked on a hill, so this side in the rear looks like it's actually sitting up higher, but it isn't. It's just the way I parked. And we've gone to sales in different places. Columbia, Terre Haute, Indiana. And we found this, actually my uncle found this other one. Jubilee, Columbian, Terre Haute, Indiana. Cool little car. Can't wait to get going in it.